you are hearing of it. You must have had it, but because some other issues and some other things have caught your attention, you've not like taken out time to Google the meaning of climate change. So those of you who have your smartphones, you can actually Google, not now, as we finish, you can Google the meaning of climate change and actually come to terms with the definition of the term. But in summary, what climate change is talking about is that the Earth's crust is heating up. Yeah? Most of you will be wondering where I'm going with this, as we are talking about budgeting and I'm talking about climate change. You will see the link. So what we are basically saying is that the Earth's crust is heating up, and that's because there are some gases that are trapped that are supposed to go back into the atmosphere, but they are trapped. And why are they trapped? There are some emissions that are coming from our cars, our generators, our heavy machineries, and these machineries contain carbon compounds. Yeah? You talk of ammonium, you talk of what have you, methane and sulfur. So there are so many of them, and these ones, carbon is the major one, and these gases trap heat such that when it is hot, when the sun comes down, these heats cannot go back into the atmosphere. So those cause heating up of the environment, of the earth crust. So where we are going with this is that the term climate change has negative impacts, and it's real and can no longer be denied. That term can no longer be denied. I'm going with this with the current president of the United States. Don't mind him. He's in denial. That's a personal opinion. He would come in terms, or rather, one man cannot drive the whole United States of America to a particular direction. What do you call it? Arnold Schwarzenegger was the one to first of all attack the president when he says that the US was going to pull out from the Paris Agreement. And he told the US that the state of Chicago was among the among the greatest economy, the largest economy in the world, and all that was made possible because of investment the state of Chicago made in renewable energy. So he's saying that it's an opportunity for private organizations to move in as US is pulling out to ensure that the global nationally determined contributions to the fight against climate change is one. So where we are going with this whole analogy to the topic of this course is that there is actually a room, or rather, let me put it this way. As Nigeria, I will just keep all these places. At some point I've said one or two about these lights. I will get to where it touches us most, because climate change, Nigeria is an oil-dependent economy. We produce oil, and about 65% of our revenues, foreign exchange, is earned from oil sales. So we are saying that, look, these are statistics that are frightening. Yeah? India is a major customer of Nigeria. India buys oil from us. And India is saying that by 2030 that they are no longer going to sell any car. Or rather, every car they will be selling in India will be electric powered. That means that parking in the filling station to buy fuel will no longer be possible in India by 2030. And India, as I've stated before, is our major customer. France will end the sales of diesel and petrol-powered cars by 2040. And these also are part of our customers, just that there was a shale oil production in the US, and that changed the whole dynamics, there is in the oil sector. Now, you've got Volvo, the car manufacturer. They are saying that by 2019, they will phase out petrol cars. And that's Volvo. So by every car model that will be produced from 2019 upwards is no longer be fossil fuel. The engine is not going to be using fossil fuel. So where are we going with all this? Norway aims to end sales of petrol diesel by 2025. That's 7 years from now. Germany sold 1 million cars. They ordered that they would put 1 million cars, electric of course, on the road by 2020. And that's just 3 years from now. So where are we going with all of this? China sold more than 500,000 electric cars in 2016 and has plans to sell more going forward. And the question is, and I will need us to answer it correctly, are we going to drink our oil by the time these projections are being made? Because from the look of things, people are making advancements as regards renewable energy. What do I mean by renewable energy? Solar panel, wind turbines, and other sources of renewable energy. We've had for a long time hydroelectricity. So we need other sources of renewable energy to come on stream so that our dependence on gas-powered power plants would come down a bit. By saying this, I do not mean that I'm not applauding the idea, or rather our organization, this is an organization notion. We are not supporting the idea that siting a nuclear power plant in Nigeria in this day and era is to the best is the best. Why are we saying this? We are saying this because developed economies like Japan, in all their might, they could not contain Fukushima nuclear power plant disaster. And countries like Germany, with all their might, they are saying that they can no longer manage their nuclear power plants, so they are shutting it down. And there is a timeline for them to completely phase out nuclear power. And their country, Nigeria, is just going to do copy and paste at a time and era whereby the manufacturers of the spare parts of these power plants are shutting down. Because you could reason that when the major users are shutting down, the spare parts manufacturers will be shutting down. So when it goes bad, I wonder how it's going to be maintained. That's why we argue that siting of these power plants, can it be done at the backyard of the people who are pushing for this? So that when there is, this is a joke by the way, so that when there is instability in the power plants, the nuclear waste would lay waste to their environment before going to lay waste on other people's environments. Moving